Well, with us right now is Pat English. She is the treasurer of the United Board. Good to see you, Pat. Always
Good
nice.
to see you again, Ken.
Yeah, it's. I think it's been a little bit of time since you've been on, so it's great to have you again. And we should mention, before we get into the things that you want to talk about, that I've mentioned this already once, a couple vacancies for the board, right?
Yes, we have two vacancies right now, and the deadline for turning in their applications is April the 6th,
Right.
5 o'clock. So.
And they can get them. You come up to the second floor, and outside the general manager's office from Leslie Cameron, you'll get your applications there and information, all that you need. And again, as Pat said, they got to be turned in by Thursday, April 6th at 5 o'clock. And then your April meeting, board meeting, is when you'll appoint those two positions. Am I right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay, very good.
We'll appoint them, but we will actually vote on the board.
Right, yeah, exactly. But it'll be that meeting, am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about a couple things today, since you are the treasurer, delinquencies and reserves, right?
Yes, I haven't got a lot to talk about today. We did go through the investments, but there wasn't anything very earth-shattering about the investments. Of course, we're not getting a huge percentage, but
Right.
neither is anyone else.
Yeah, that's true.
And we have to be very cautious, you know. We have to
Yeah.
have very secure investments.
Right.
We
Yeah.
can't go out and get these 5% returns when there's a lot of risk involved.
Right, yeah,
So
exactly.
our returns are running like 1.5% or something like that.
Yeah, that's the way it is, and unfortunately, you know, if it was to turn around, well, that means any kind of, on the other end, things would get more expensive, loans and stuff like that. So it's a
Yeah.
catch-22 situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'd have inflation and the costs would be much.
Yeah, the days of those 12% CDs are probably will never return.
Yeah, well, that's probably good too.
Yeah, exactly. So you, delinquencies, and they, I see they went up a little bit, right?
Yes, they've creeped up there. They were running around 60,000 in total, and around 30 plus or minus 5 people. And all of a sudden in February, they jumped up to 93,491, which is not a lot.
Right.
But it's enough to say, what's going on there, you know?
Yeah.
And we've been scratching our head to try and figure out, and we can't think of any explanation, except maybe it was for the holidays.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. All the holiday credit card bills came
Could be
in.
that,
Yeah.
or it could be the weather was bad. People
Yeah.
couldn't get out.
Yeah.
We've had some atrocious weather.
Yeah.
I shouldn't complain because we needed
Right.
rain. I'm sitting right by the creek, and I was watching the creek go up and up and up.
Yeah.
And it became a roaring river at one point
Yeah,
in time.
yeah, it
I
did.
thought we might even have to evacuate.
Yeah.
It was that bad.
So you're right. That could have been the, you know, well, I guess you'll find out if it goes back down again.
Well, I hope so, because we have some very good VMSI staff members that work on it.
Right.
Between Brian English, not a relative, by the way.
Right.
And Betty
You're right.
Parker, they do a great job.
And also, you want to talk about reserves. And you know, one time, you might want to explain this again. You came on once, and you talked about reserves versus contingency fund, right?
Right. There are actually two funds.
Yeah,
there.
if you could maybe just give us a little refresher course on that.
Okay, this is very brief.
Yeah.
Contingency fund is entirely up to us. We're not by law required to have a contingency fund or anything like that, but we believe it's prudent to have some money set aside for things that we don't really anticipate.
Okay.
And in this case, we used a lot of it for the solar, as
Okay.
you probably know, okay? On the other hand, the reserves are what is required by Davis Sterling. Davis Sterling does not require that we have X number of dollars in reserves, but they do require we have reserves. That's kind of weird. I don't understand that myself.
So it's not like there's any percentage or anything?
No,
Okay.
it's not really very logical.
Wow, that's interesting. But
Yes.
yet you have to have it, but they don't say, I always thought they dictated based on the amount of the operation costs, how much you had to have in reserves. I didn't
No,
realize
it's
that.
not like that. But you can't go messing with the reserves. Like once the money's in there, you can't go
Right.
taking it out of there and things
Okay.
like that.
So as far as that, you're going to start, wow, in a month. 2018 is rolling around, at least when the budget process.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. The budget has been in the past a long, laborious effort. Brad has done a great job of trimming it down last
Right.
year, so I'm sure he'll have it trimmed down again for 2018. But we'll be starting to prepare it in April, and because many of the infrastructure issues are vitally important, we have to prioritize which
Right.
are the most important, you know, and we have to come up with something quite accurate. And of course, we have sewer lines,
Yeah.
we have dry rot, we have electrical panels, we have all kinds of sewer lines and water line issues that we have to take care of. And the buildings are 50 years old, the sewer
Right.
lines and everything. So the electric panels also, some of them are not up to code.
Right.
I believe we have 2,750 or somewhere around that number that are not up to code. People that have the old Pushmatic electric panel
Right.
boxes, they will have to be changed out.
And this is going to be a multi-year.
Yes, it
Oh,
will be a
over the
multi-year,
right, okay.
but still, because of the cost of all these things, there's a lot of money involved. In
Yeah, of course.
we have to plan very well with our reserves.
And of course, as you said, the plumbing issues, particularly the sewer lines that exit the buildings and all, have always been a major issue.
Yes, and even worse are the ones that are actually underneath the
Right.
units
Yeah.
themselves. That is a major job.
Yeah, exactly.
And but if we take care of them when we see that there may be a problem, I believe we should be able to get through it with the least amount of grief, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we might need to increase the reserves. In fact, I'm pretty sure we need to increase the reserves, and we might end up having to have a modest increase in the assessments.
Okay, is there, as far as the reserves right now, is there a certain amount you would like to see in there compared to what there is in there now, or a
Well,
certain
right-
percentage maybe?
No, I really haven't figured out. We're not at a point. I have been trying to get hold of the director of M&C to talk with him about
Okay,
and try and get a better handle on this.
right, exactly.
We know we need more. We don't know how much more we need, though.
Okay,
And we've also got to get the money back in the contingency fund from the solar. And I believe we may be able to do it by taking the money we're saving from the solar every month
Okay.
and taking that money and putting it back into the contingency fund.
okay,
That's what I'm hoping we can do. We'll have to have a motion or especially for that, though.
okay.
And as far as our delinquencies, on the good side, we're still ahead of the rest of the country with less than
Yeah.
1%.
Yeah.
I have to boast. I have to have something to boast about. So that's one thing we can always boast about.
Yeah, that is very good.
Yeah, I'm willing to
Definitely.
bet that we could take all the homeowners associations, all the co-ops in the entire country, and we'd come out ahead of all
Yeah,
of them.
that's great.
Yeah, that's really something to boast about. And then as far as renovations are concerned, I am a firm advocate that we should encourage people to do renovations. I believe firmly, in fact, I think any real estate appraiser will tell you that if you improve one house in a neighborhood, it improves them all.
Right,
And
exactly.
the more you improve, the more it improves the whole neighborhood.
Yeah,
And
that's very
so
true.
by encouraging people when they come in to renovate, it'll save the corporation United, which will save them money, save us all money if people come in and do that.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, we should mention that, and you've mentioned this before, that when people do renovate and they put in their own appliances and things like that, they become responsible for those, right?
Right,
And
and
when
then
they
that
sell their
saves-
unit, they can sell it as is, or
And that saves us all the
Yeah.
maintenance and everything on that. And like if they have to, let's say they want to upgrade some of their electrical things, they have to upgrade the electrical panel. So
Right.
that will save us $2,000 or $3,000 per unit.
Yeah, that's true.
Just on the electric
So
panels.
people could go ahead and do that. Then they could take the initiative. If they said, we want to upgrade these things in our home, we also want to pay right now, instead of waiting to our turn to get the new electrical panel, we want to do it right now and pay for it ourselves.
Yeah, they can do that.
Okay.
Of course, they have to get a permit for it.
Right, exactly.
But yes, and that's a tremendous benefit to United and the people in United when new people come in and do that.
Yeah, definitely. Very good. Anything else you'd like to add?
I think that's about it. Ken?
Okay. And remember, folks, that the United meeting is at City Hall on Tuesday, so keep that in mind. And I don't know how much, if we'll go into April yet over there, we'll just see. But we know for sure your meeting on Tuesday will still be at City Hall, right?
That's right. That's
All
right. Thank you very much,
Good
Ken.
to see you, and we'll be right back.
Okay. Have a nice day.